Right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome again to the online session of microprocessors and microcontrollers class. So, in today's class, we will start a new topic, a new interfacing device called programmable interrupt controller, and the chip number is 8259A. Okay. So programmable interrupt controller and the chip number is 8259A. A always stands for advanced. Okay, so in place of programmable, sometimes it is also called priority interrupt controller. Priority interrupt controller. Okay. So till yesterday's class, till last class, we discussed about a device called 8255, okay, which is nothing but programmable peripheral interface. Programmable peripheral interface. What was the purpose of that particular device? Okay, the purpose of that particular device is to interface or is to establish a communication between 8086 between 8086, okay, and the peripheral devices. What are the different peripheral devices that we have? Like keyboard, okay, monitor, okay, monitor, mouse, okay, pen drive, pen drive, hard disk, okay, or any other USB devices, external memories, okay. So whatever peripheral devices that we have, these peripheral devices, which are either input devices or output devices that we call. Suppose keyboard is an input device, monitor is an output device, mouse is an input device, pen drive, hard drive, or the external memory devices. Okay, all these are termed as peripheral devices. These peripheral devices are connected to the 8086. These peripheral devices are connected to the 8086 through this 8255. Through this 8255. Okay. So this 8255 establishes a communication path. This 8255 establishes a communication path between 8086 and the remaining peripheral devices. Okay, that is nothing but interfacing. It establishes a connection with communication. That means communication means what? The data transfer between these peripheral devices and 8086. That also we have seen. Okay, when 8255 is operating as an input port, then read operation will be performed. When 8255 port is operating as an output port, then write operation will be done. Okay, so this we have seen till last class. Now, what is the importance of this particular programmable interrupt controller? First, we have to understand what is this interrupt. What is this interrupt? As I have told you in our earlier classes, when a microprocessor is performing a particular task, when a microprocessor is performing a particular task, more important task than already performing task, okay, is more important task than already which is performing, already task which is performing, then the microprocessor stops the task that is being performed, stops the task that is being performed and takes up the higher important task which is a new one. Okay, so the task which is being performed will be stopped for a particular period of time, and the task which is more important than the already processing task will be taken up by the 8086 microprocessor. Okay, so that particular thing is nothing but interrupt. That particular thing is nothing but that particular thing which is interrupting the 8086 processor to take up the new important task is nothing but interrupt. Okay, okay. So in the 8255, while discussing the 8255, we discussed some control signals. Hope you all could remember that. Okay, some control signals. Those control signals, one of the control signals, we saw a signal called INTR, interrupt request. We saw a signal called interrupt request, which is nothing but INTR. Hope you all could remember this control signal. Okay, so each, what is the importance of this INTR? Each of these peripheral devices like keyboard, monitor, okay, mouse, or any other input output peripheral device that is connected, okay, to the 8086 through 8255 sends this interrupt signal. Sends this interrupt signal. Suppose we have keyboard, let us say. Okay, we have keyboard. When we write something, when we want to write something, we have to inform the 8086 processor that I want to write some data. I want to write some data. Okay, that has to be communicated to the 8086 processor. This is done by 8255. This is done by 8255. But in order to perform this, first keyboard sends an interrupt request signal. Interrupt request signal. Okay, so that is nothing but called interrupt. That is nothing but called interrupt. Okay, so what is this interrupt signal? It is informing the 8086 microprocessor that I have something to write. That I have something to write. Similarly, when while writing the keyboard, while writing using keyboard, if I want to use mouse, then I have to send a interrupt signal to the 8086 processor. I have to send a interrupt signal to the 8086 processor that I want to write something. So already keyboard is operating because before mouse, keyboard sent the interrupt signal, and similarly mouse also sending the interrupt signal. If the importance of mouse signal, if the importance of mouse signal is greater than this keyboard signal, then the keyboard signal will be suspended, the keyboard operation will be suspended, and the mouse operation will be performed. The mouse operation will be performed. If it is having higher importance only. If the mouse operation is of low importance, then keyboard operation is performed. After performing the keyboard operation, then mouse operation will be performed. So in this manner, whatever the device that is connected to the 8086 processor, when it wants to communicate with 8086 processor, okay, when it wants to communicate with 8086 microprocessor, it has to send some interrupt signal that I want to communicate with you. Okay, so that interrupt signal has to be sent to the 8086 processor, and that has to be processed, and that has to be processed and acknowledged. Interrupt acknowledge signal we saw na? So that has to be acknowledged that 8086 processor is ready to accept the signal. Okay, so this is the process that happens with the peripheral devices and the 8086 microprocessor. So in order to perform this entire process of interrupt, in order to perform this entire process of interrupt. Okay, we use this particular 8259, which is nothing but programmable interrupt controller. Programmable interrupt controller. Okay, right? So, what is the purpose of this 8259 or programmable interrupt controller? It actually receives it actually receives the interrupt signals from all these peripheral devices. It processes them. It processes them, and it makes them in the priority order. It puts them in the priority order. Okay, and it sends the interrupt signals to the 8086 one by one. That is the purpose of this interrupt controller. Okay, hope the introduction to this 8259 is clear to you. Okay, so each of the chips that we are discussing performs a particular task. Like 8255 interfaces all these peripheral devices to 8086. Now this particular 8259 is performing what? Processing all these interrupt signals to the 808. Okay, let us now proceed to the actual discussion. What is this 8259? What are different pins we have? What is the architecture of it? Okay, so that we will see. Right. So if we are working introduction to this 8259, if we are working with 8086, we have a problem here because the 8086 has only two interrupt inputs. One is NMI and the other one is INTR. Okay. So what is this NMI? If you could remember, while discussing the pin diagram of 8086, we discussed about these two interrupt signals. One is NMI, which is nothing but non-maskable interrupt. NMI means what? Non-maskable interrupt. Okay, non-maskable. Let me write this. Non-maskable interrupt. Okay, non-maskable I for interrupt. And the second one is INTR. INTR is nothing but interrupt request. Interrupt request. Okay, so these are the two signals that actually carry the interrupt signals to 8086. That means we have only two interrupt signals. Out of two interrupt input signals to 8086, this particular NMI, which is non-maskable interrupt, will have the highest priority. Highest priority. That means the interrupt signal that is connected to this particular input. Okay, the interrupt signal that is connected to this particular input will have highest priority. That is, it is processed first by the 8086. Whatever the device that may be connected to this particular device, okay, so that will be processed first. Okay, highest priority, right? And the next signal is INTR. The next signal is INTR. So whatever device that is connected to it will have the next priority, right? So if we save NMI for power failure interrupt, that means for higher value power failure interrupt, this leaves only one interrupt for all other applications. For all other applications, that means if you use this highest priority for power failure interrupt, that means very important one, then we are left with what? Only single interrupt input signal. We are left with what? Only single interrupt input signal to 8086. And we have number of devices connected to 8086. So we will get what? Number of interrupt signals to the 8086. And we have only single interrupt input signal. Okay, the receiving interrupt signals are more than one. So, but we have only single interrupt signal. That is the problem here. So, for applications where we have multiple interrupts, for a application where we have interrupts for multiple sources, we use an external device called priority interrupt controller or programmable interrupt controller PIC to interrupt the signals into a single interrupt input on the processor. So now you must be clear. Suppose what is happening here is we have 8086. Let me clear this point because this is very important. Let us say this is 8086. Okay, 808. Just be patient. If you understand this basic, then the other things will be easy to understand. And for this 8086, we have only two interrupt input signals. Two interrupt input signals. One is NMI, NMI, and the other thing is INTR. Just be patient and concentrated. INTR. So these are the two interrupt input signals that we have for 8086. But the thing is, this 8086 is connected with several number of devices like, see, this is keyboard is one device. Okay, printer is another device. Okay, monitor is another device. Okay, mouse is another device. So these are some devices that are connected to it. Okay, all these, suppose keyboard has to communicate with a processor, printer has to communicate with processor, monitor has to communicate with processor, mouse has to communicate with processor, or what you can say, hard disk that we connect. Okay, hard disk, HD, hard disk has to communicate with the processor. But out of two interrupt pins that we have, this is reserved to power failure interrupt. This is reserved to power failure interrupt. That means it interrupts the processor when the power fails. When the power fails. Okay, that is the importance of this non-maskable input. Okay, and this has the highest priority. This has the highest priority. Now, let us say we are left with only single interrupt signal. We are left with only single interrupt input signal. So what happens here? This hard disk has to communicate with the processor. Keyboard has to communicate with the processor. Printer, monitor, and what are all the different devices we have? Suppose mouse. So these many interrupt signals are being sent to the microprocessor because all this has to communicate with the processor for performing a single task. Okay. Now, out of these interrupt signals that are being produced by the different peripheral devices with only available single interrupt input signal, how can the processor process all these interrupt signals? That is the problem here. That is the problem. So in order to process these interrupt signals, see, first these all interrupt signals from all the peripheral devices will be sent to 8259, which is PIC, Programmable Interrupt Controller, 8259. So this 8259 processes all these interrupt signals that are sent by these peripheral devices, and out of all these interrupt signals, it chooses one highest priority signal and sends to this 8255. 8086. Okay, so now hope you are all clear with the functioning of 8259. Okay, so what does it do? It collects all the interrupt signals from the all the peripheral devices that are connected to the processor. Then it processes all the interrupt signals, and it chooses the highest priority interrupt signal out of all these interrupt signals, and that particular interrupt signal will be sent to the CPU or processor through INTR signal. That is the function of 8259. Okay, so let us now look into the architecture here. After understanding the importance and the necessity of 8259, let us now look into the architecture here. Okay, so the diagram shown on the screen presents you the architecture here. Okay, so the architecture will have different blocks. What are all the different blocks that we have here? The first block, how it chooses highest priority, and how the priorities are given to the signals. Okay, that will be explained here. See here, if you see this architecture, see, if you see this architecture here, we have different blocks. We have different blocks. Always this side. Okay, always keep in mind this side of any particular interfacing device that we are discussing. Okay, suppose let it be 8255, let it be 8259, let it be 8279, whatever the interfacing device that we are studying, this particular side of the architecture will always be connected to or communicated with 8086. Okay, always this side will be communicated with 8086. That you have to keep in mind. Okay, so data bus buffer, you know what is the function of data bus buffer. So it communicates or it transfers data between 8086 and this is what 8259. Okay, so between these two you will have communication, and that communication of data will be done through this data bus buffer. And similarly, read operation and write operation will be done here, and this particular chip will be selected by using this chip select signal. Okay, and after this you have this cascade buffer control. I'll let you know what is the importance of this. And if you observe the things here, see, first, interrupt request register. Interrupt request register. What does this do means? This collects the interrupt request from all the devices that I quoted now. Suppose keyboard, mouse, okay, and monitor, printer, and similarly, what are different devices we have? Hard disk, let us say. Hard disk. Okay, so every device will send some interrupt signal, IR1, IR0, IR2, IR3, IR4. Okay, so like this particular 8259, this particular single 8259 can collect 8 interrupt requests, Okay, so it collects all the interrupt requests and it stores here interrupt request register. Okay, the collected interrupt requests from all the peripheral devices will be stored in this particular block called interrupt request register. After collecting all these interrupts, we have a block here called priority resolver. What is this block called? Priority resolver. Okay, so we can resolve priority by using some combinational logic circuit. Okay, priority resolver using encoder, decoders. We have na, so such kind of a circuit we have in this particular chip, and that particular block is called priority resolver. So out of all these interrupt requests that are collected by using IRR, those signals will be checked by the priority. Okay, which is the most priority? Which is the most priority out of all these? Suppose if you need to understand this, I'll give you an example. See, while you are playing a game, in the mobile, if you get the call, then the game will get paused, and you need to attend that call. Okay, the game will get interrupted, the game app will be stopped, and the call app will be activated. Until and unless you attempt that call or disconnect that call, you cannot play the game. Okay, so that is the best example you can see. That means what? Your call app in the mobile is having highest priority than any other app in the mobile. Okay, so whatever the app that you use, but your call app will have highest priority. If you get a call, you have to either attend it or disconnect it. Unless until you attend it or disconnect it, you cannot use the any other app. Okay, but after attending the call or after disconnecting the call, then you can use, but your call app will have the highest priority. So that is how it is programmed. Similarly, out of all these what you can say interrupt requests that we have, this priority resolver chooses the highest priority signal among these signals. After that, okay, this chosen highest priority signal will be sent to this in-service register. So the name itself suggests you the importance here. That means out of these signals, if keyboard is chosen the highest priority, then the keyboard signal will be there in this particular register. That means what? We are serving the keyboard interrupt. Out of all these signals, the highest priority is for keyboard, and okay, and this keyboard interrupt has to be served. Okay, so the serving signal will be present in the interrupt service register. That means the highest priority signal will be there. Okay, and interrupt mask register will have all the interrupts that are masked. Okay, and this control logic will be sending the, what you can say, this control logic will be, suppose out of these we choose keyboard signal, this keyboard interrupt request will be sent to 8086. That is done by control logic. Okay, so this is sent to 8086, this keyboard signal. Okay, and you will get the acknowledgement from the 8086 that we are accepting your interrupt signal. Come on, give me the data. Okay, so that kind of acknowledgement will be given by this 8086. Okay, so this is the input signal to the 8086 from 8259, and this is the output signal from 8086 to the 8259. Okay, so this is how the process of collecting the interrupt, resolving the priority, and serving the interrupt happens. Now we are left with this particular block. What is this block? Cascade buffer comparator. So if you observe here, I told you before starting off this architecture that a single let me clear this. A single 8259 chip can handle how many requests? 7 requests. Only 7 interrupt requests can be handled by a single 8259. That means when you have 7 peripheral devices connected, and those 7 peripheral devices sends the interrupt request, then all those 7 peripheral interrupt requests can be handled by a single 8259. Suppose if you have more peripheral devices connected to the processor, in some cases we may have, okay, in some cases we may have more peripheral devices also. So then in that particular case, when you have more peripheral devices connected to the processor and when you need to handle more interrupt requests than 7 or 8, or you can say than 8, okay, IR0 to IR7 gives you 8 signals. If you need to handle more than 8 interrupt signals, then we connect another 8259. Okay, we connect what? Another 8259. That means 8259 plus 8259. We have two 8259. We have what? Two 8259. Okay, so up to 8, this one handles. Greater than 8, this one handles. And these two will be connected in the cascade mode. These two will be connected in the cascade mode. You know what is cascade connection. Okay, so these two 8259 will be connected in the cascade mode. Okay, so if you have more than 16, then another one will be connected. So, okay, you can operate these 8259 in cascade mode. And then when you need to select, the 8259s, we use this cascade buffer comparator. Okay, suppose this is 82591, this is 82592. Similarly, if you have another one, so out of these, which one to operate out of these three connected in cascade, which one to operate will be selected by these ones. CAS1, okay, CAS0, CAS2. Okay, that is the thing. Okay, so that's the importance of this cascade buffer comparator. Hope the things are clear to you. And this signal SP bar EN bar, what is the importance of this signal? This decides the master. Okay, we have three 8259s. Out of 38259s, only one should be communicating with 8086. All the 38259s cannot communicate with 8086 because 8086 only have a single interrupt input. Okay, so out of all these three connected in cascade, only one will be communicating with 8086. That is nothing but called master one. That is nothing but what? Master one. The remaining all called what? Slave. The remaining all called what? Slave. Okay. So for selecting master and slave, this can be used here. Okay, this signal decides here. Okay, so that is about the architecture. Okay, so let us see in detail now. What are these? The interrupt request register, as I told you, this collects all the interrupts on the priority basis, and in service register stores all the requests those are being served. ఏదైతే సర్వ్ చేస్తున్నారో that will be stored here. Priority resolver determines the priority, and IR0 will have the highest priority and IR7 will have the lowest priority. Okay, interrupt mask register, this stores the bits required to mask the interrupt inputs. Okay, IMR operates on IRR at the direction of the priority resolver. That means IRR and priority resolver combinedly gives the input